Oddworld Inhabitants have announced an official Oddworld action figure, of course, of Abe. Now this is pretty old news actually. It's funny, I begin what ends up being about a 2 weeks absence on Twitter, then I think the day after I log out, Oddworld Inhabitants announces this big news, and I didn't know about it until just now. I only found out thanks to Yoshi vs Joshi on Twitter letting me know about it, which was darn lucky. I could have missed out, so thank you, I appreciate that a lot. GameTee have started a Kickstarter campaign to produce what I'm pretty certain is the first officially licensed Oddworld action figure. As the webpage says, "Hello, we're GameTee, an independent creative studio from the UK, and together with Oddworld Inhabitants, we have lovingly created an officially licensed 5-inch articulated action figure of the one and only Abe." The fact that it's 5-inch is really fortuitous for me. That means it should pretty nicely fit in with my Doctor Who figures. Thanks to that, I even have some fleeches already. The post continues. "You might say we're fans. Abe's Oddysee wasn't just our first game. It was the start of a lifelong love for the world of Oddworld, a universe that continues to inspire us today. With this campaign, we want to take you back in time and fully immerse you in a sense of nostalgia and joy. But this isn't just another static collectible to gather dust on your shelf. This is Abe as you know and love him, full of life, ready for action, play and adventure." Indeed, GameTee have a long history with Oddworld Inhabitants and have produced many other products for them, such as the Moolah coin bag I did a video on a few years ago. So they have a history of doing this sort of thing before, though this is very ambitious, and as a result you may be thinking, well, Kickstarters don't always succeed, which is very true, and naturally, keep that in mind if you choose to back it. A lot of them don't even reach their goal, but as the page says, "We have previously run 18 successful Kickstarters, some of which have achieved very high levels of funding. We have dispatched every one of these on time and to a high standard. However, it's always possible unexpected events may occur. We have contingencies in place. Any problems will be dealt with in a clear, honest and transparent manner that prioritizes the needs of our backers. We have taken on board the costs of sculpting, prototyping and initial manufacture of this Abe figurine. Our deepest thanks go to Lorne, Sherry and their fellow inhabitants for placing their faith in us, and for entrusting us with this project. They have made this dream possible. Now we turn to you, true Oddworld fans. Toy making is an expensive journey. The costs of production, especially for high quality injection molds, are immense, and as a small independent studio, we can't do it alone. But with your support, are you ready to bring Abe home?" And indeed, this one reached its goal of £14,000 in an hour, and is currently sitting at over £47,000. So that's at least a good sign. As a result of this achievement, a couple of days ago they made an update saying thank you, and "The campaign is galloping ahead at the pace of an angry scrap, and we couldn't be happier about the campaign, not about the scrap. It has been wonderful to share in your enthusiasm for Abe. Not only that, but it appears the Kickstarter staff are Oddworld fans too. They have great taste. And we were awarded a coveted project we love before we even launched." Interesting. And then they talk about the stretch goals, which are those sort of extra rewards or enhancements to a project offered after it exceeds its initial funding target. "Before we could make grand plans for accessories and alternate sculpts, we needed to be certain of achieving funding for the components and molds that will make Abe himself. Apparently, we shouldn't have worried. The Oddworld fans showed up, blasted open the door, and rocked us to our core." I like that rhyming there. Now, being realistic, 28 days is not enough time to design and prototype more fully realised figurines for you. By that we mean, say, a posable Slig and Slog duo, or a precious Lil Paramite. Well, possibly in pie form. Yeah, they also mentioned at the end of the main page of the Kickstarter, will the dream come true? Maybe we'll even see more in the future. But even before I read that, as soon as I saw that an Abe action figure was being made, my first thought was, man, I hope they make a Slig figure at some point. But then again, I feel like that'd be really hard to make. Like, how would it not fall over? That That'd be a really tough one to design. I guess it'd have to have a stand, or you'd have to come up with some innovative, unique articulation mechanics to make a slig figure that can stand on its own without external support. A Glukkon, presumably Moloch, would probably be significantly easier in that regard, though I can't imagine he'd have much articulation. Maybe the creatures are more likely in that regard. A Scrab or a Paramite, those would be pretty cool and perhaps more feasible. Or even an Eloom that you can mount your Abe figure on, but darn, I'd love a slig somehow. But of course, additional figure ideas are not what they're currently asking for. As the post continues, we have heard your requests and look into the future. We see possibilities for expansions into other figurines from the Oddworld series. What is possible in this short time frame, however, are the addition of smaller accessories or alternate expressions for Abe. We are currently consulting our manufacturers about what is plausible to include additionally for free to every physical figurine backer. Our designer Lucy Haitley stands ready to work with your suggestions. If you navigate to the comments section, you'll find a place to type out thoughts on what you'd like to see. This is your opportunity to be heard. We repeat, this is your opportunity. We will gather suggestions, likely putting them into a poll into which every backer will have the right to offer input. Now, of course, none of this is absolutely guaranteed to happen, but there is a very strong likelihood that, given our current funding trajectory, it can. We still need everyone to be sharing the campaign, as word of mouth is of critical importance. The more backers we have, the higher our chances of being able to offer additional accessories. This is because economies of scale apply, of course. Oh, and we forgot to mention, please be as specific as you can for suggestions. For example, swappable head with angry expression. So basically, you have to back the project to write a comment, but you can go into the comments section of this update page on Kickstarter and make a suggestion. My first thought was add a big face mask accessory that Abe can wear, because then if you've got two of the figures, you can have one wear the mask, and then you've got figures of two separate iconic characters from Oddworld Abe's Oddysee, which also keeps with the theme of it being a what-if figure made in 1997, so it's not like an accessory that's from the future of the franchise, if that makes sense. The only problem with the mask idea is you might be concerned with scratching the paint off Abe's face when putting the mask on and off, perhaps. Yeah, maybe not, I'm sure it could be designed to just slip over and hang there, but worst case scenario, maybe it'd have to be a separate head with the mask attached instead. I mean, they literally used swappable head as an example of the types of suggestions they're looking for, so this type of thing is clearly already on their minds, and plus it would probably allow it to be designed to look better anyway. I mean, let's face it, pun genuinely not intended, it's probably the only chance we'd have of getting a big face figure. Even if this goes really well and they do more in the future, I doubt they'd release basically the exact same figure again, but this time with Big Face's face. Not only that, but it'd encourage people to get two of the figures, so they'd probably make an even greater profit, because people would have greater reason to buy more than one. So it wouldn't just be a bonus for the customers that get it, it'd also be actively prompting more sales of the product and making more profit for the company, which means we're hopefully more likely to get even more figures in the future, if they sell in high quantities, which this would encourage. My Glukkon instincts are kicking in right now. Additionally, in theory, you could army build them, paint them green, and you have a big face and a couple of Mudokons. I'm just joking with that one, but I mean, you could. So that's my suggestion. I don't know if the big face mask idea is good, because my ideas are usually pretty poorly thought out. You know, like maybe it wouldn't fit in the packaging, for example. So I'll leave it to you. If you think that's a good idea and you've backed the project, maybe go into the update page of the Kickstarter and suggest it in the comments section there. And if you do that, I'd appreciate that, because that means I'm not the only one that thinks that might be a good idea. So we'd basically be getting two Oddworld action figures instead of one. Now let's take an actual closer look at this figure. They're doing the campaign in a very clever way where they're making out as though this is what would have been released back in 1997. Let's watch the video for it on the page so you know what I mean. Let us take you back in time. It's December 1997. A mysterious gift has appeared on your desk. You see, I really like the way they've made it look like the 90s with the PS1 and the Pokemon and the Nokia and the Pogs and all that, really trying to immerse you and take you back to that era when Abe's Oddysee first came out. But this time, with the gift that could have been, the gift that should have been. The Abe action figure is finally here. Great that they went to the effort of using stop motion too, pretty nice. This packaging astonished me when I first saw it, like mimicking Abe's cell, Moloch sucks. Just funny to see seemingly what official Oddworld action figure packaging would look like. Never even occurred to me before. But what's really interesting and shows how dedicated they are is the fact that on the Kickstarter's page it says, "We designed the packaging using the authentic Abe's Oddysee art and promotional files from 1997, embellished with authentic details from the game." So they're literally doing this as if it was actually done in 1997. They're not just trying to get you in the mood and play on your nostalgia with the aesthetic of the marketing. This is actually an interpretation of what the figure may have been like if they had made an action figure of Abe all the way back then. Which I've seen a few toy companies do this sort of thing. I think Hasbro frequently does new toys that are in like retro styles, mimicking what a figure would have been like if it had been made decades previously, or even by an older company. So I suppose this is perhaps sort of what they're going with here. As they say in the tagline, "Let's rewind to 1997. Oddworld Abe's Oddysee has just hit the shelves, and with it, the action figure everyone always wanted." This being said, it's worth pointing out that, as it says in the FAQs, this is not a toy, it is an adult collectible. Please note the safety warnings on the packaging. Abe should not be given to children as the figure contains small parts which represent a choking hazard. 17+. And this is shown further by the fact, as it says in the video, these collectibles are individually hand painted and include 10 points of articulation on a strong ABS PVC body. Not a boring static sculpture, a real action figurine with retro inspired articulation points. Recreate iconic poses, designed for maximum playability, flexible joints for a huge range of lifelike movement, designed with incredible attention to detail and painted precisely, capturing those important signature details, expertly sculpted for maximum fun, high-grade durable paintwork applied with gradients, highlights and shadows on carefully detailed textured surfaces, contains no nutritional value. And here we have some images of the creation of this figure, as it says, sculpted by Lucy Haitley, 3D artist and also one of the two sisters that founded GameTee, by the way, using Maxon ZBrush. Take a closer look at the strong, durable articulation points on Abe and a fascinating process of articulated figure design. A complicated journey, but the results are so worthwhile. The bigness of Abe's ponytail, which is a lot thicker than it is in the game, which a part of me thinks maybe because if it was that thin it'd probably break really easily, but it sort of reminds me of old concept art of Abe, which actually works really well because this is actually something that happens in the production of toys. Literally in my next video I talk about an action figure that I've deduced was clearly based on concept art as opposed to the final design of the character in the game it's based on. So whether intentional or not, this actually makes a lot of sense. Like if this product is meant to be what would have been made in 1997, it actually adds up very nicely. I think it may have been intentional actually because you can see concept art in the background there. Going back to the video, it ends off with, "Don't forget to check out the add-ons for brand new 90s inspired t-shirts," which brings us nicely onto looking at the different tiers available, with the lowest reward aside from the make a pledge without a reward option being grab a t-shirt and access to all add-ons without pledging for a figurine for £24. So there's 3 t-shirt designs that you can choose from: Talk to the Hands, Leap of Faith and Employee of the Year, available in sizes S to 3XL, luxuriously silk screened on 100% cotton using water-based non-toxic discharge inks, Kickstarter exclusive. Next tier is of course the Abe 5-inch action figurine itself for £28, which when you consider I think new Hasbro Star Wars Black Series figures are about £24, I'd say it's actually quite a good price considering it's an independently made figure. It's not like they're a factory pumping these things out en masse every year, you know, I think. Alternatively, you can get each figure slightly cheaper cheaper with the next tier, which is 2 Abe 5-inch action figurines. Ideal for collectors, keep one in a package and have one for play, which is £54, so that's £27 each. I really like the fact that GameTee accounted for the fact that some people would want more than one. And again, just saying, an ideal pledge for my big face idea. Next is the Employee of the Year bundle, which is all the t-shirts and the action figure, one of them, for £95. And then it's the most expensive one, the Ultimate Big Moolah bundle for £180, which includes absolutely everything in this campaign. And if you're wondering what those other add-ons are, which I'm pretty sure you can add on after making any of the pledges, we've got a 10cm by 7cm smiley holographic Mudokon sticker in iridescent vinyl, die cut, suitable for indoor and outdoor use. A single Moolah coin, which I'm pretty sure is the same type of coin that was a part of the Moolah coin set they released a few years ago that I mentioned earlier, designed using original archival artwork of Moolah coins from Stranger's Wrath, expertly struck in high relief zinc. What would the world be like without zinc? Alloy coin measuring 30mm in diameter, in Odd We Trust. A premium officially licensed Oddworld badge set features 4 collectible iconic expressions in a black velveteen collector's box, gold foil embossed with a Mudokon skull and bones motif. What's velveteen? Is that just velvet? A stainless steel Oddworld Inhabitants pendant with velvet bag. You know what I'd like them to do? Sidetrack here, but here's an idea for a product. What about a necklace, but one that's exactly the same as the one Abe wears on the cover of Abe's Exodus? So basically this necklace, but coloured. Just an idea anyway. And I think finally, a stainless steel Scrab and Paramite bracelet set. Includes both Scrab and Paramite. What, a Scrab and Paramite comes with the set? That sounds a bit dangerous. And so yeah, you can choose what or if you want to add on any of these add-ons to your pledge on the next screen after choosing your reward. The page also says, if our goal is reached, which it is a couple of times over, it's been utterly smashed, we will produce Abe for our backers of this campaign and possibly a small number of additional figurines for our website. This overstock is produced to ensure we have figures remaining in case of postal damage. But once they've gone, they've gone. This is a strictly limited edition run. The only way to guarantee your Abe is to pledge on this campaign. Our love letter to Oddworld is complete. Will the dream come true? Maybe we'll even see more in future. It depends. It's in your hands now, Odd Squad. So please consider supporting our project. It has 24 days to go as of the uploading of this video, and naturally I'll leave the links in the description. It's pretty remarkable. This is a dream come true. Like seriously, there's been talk of Oddworld action figures for years. Well, probably decades actually. Like I remember as a kid trying to make my own Oddworld models out of Milliput and being like, man, I just wish they made Oddworld action figures. And now we have one. Well, assuming everything goes to plan, but it's currently doing very well, with suggestions that they may do more in the future, which is pretty remarkable. With an expected delivery date of October this year. Hopefully, we're only a few months away from receiving the first ever official Oddworld Abe action figure.